All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe. Got something a little bit different for you today. Got a 71 Road Runner that's transitioning to be a bracket car. This belongs to a guy that's fairly local to me, not too far away. And I'm basically going to help him get it back on the road. He's got some ignition problems going on. I just want to do a quick walk around for you. Car looks really nice and straight to me. The paint looks pretty legit. But there she is. Got some Hoosier QuickTime Pros on. And hiding under there some cow tracks. I don't know if, there we go. I'm not sure if any of that's been tried on a racetrack yet. But hopefully soon. Got some good front runners. Weld wheels all the way around. If you look at our date there, it's 99, excuse me. So they still look really, really good. So somebody's had those collected for a little while. I think he said this car's had a quarter put on it, but you can't, I couldn't jump out and tell you right now looking. It's been well taken care of, but he's got a few issues. So let me pop the hood. So this is a 440. I think the car came originally 383. Timing problems. And a lot of people end up with timing problems and they not really sure what's going on. I'm going to try to help him through this. I told him if he could just bring it here, it would be faster than me driving there and scratching heads and doing all that stuff. So I wanted to bring y'all along for it. Right now, it's got a new fire core distributor in. I think that was the last thing that he added. The balancer's been marked. He said that he did verify top dead center several times, and he's been around and around in circles with it. But just doing the simple setup of drop your distributor in, move it back 10 degrees, start the car. He said it was showing like over 40 degrees initial, and he has no idea why, and et cetera, et cetera. So my first step, he did start and drive the car into here. So right now there's no need for me to pull the distributor. There's no need for me to check a lot of these things. It sounded really good coming in here. He drove it off the trailer, drove it in here. So it will start and run. We're gonna fire it up in just a minute. I'm gonna pull my timing light out and just check, see what my light says. And then we can kind of go from there. I can pop the cap off, be sure there's not excessive play in the rotor, anything like that. And even if I want to, I can, do the finger method, spin it over, let it poot on my finger, and we'll just see where our balancer is there. Because we don't, obviously, we got to verify that at some point, just in case the balancer slipped. If something's funny with the cam, we have no idea. I think my first step, I'm just going to turn the fuel pump on, be sure there's no leaks anywhere. I have seen people's stuff before burn down when they were just sitting in the car revving on it and didn't realize there was a little fuel leak. And this has been sitting here a few weeks now, so let's try it and see together. Well, it does have a little return line. That feels nice. Looks like it's sized appropriately. Tickling 7 pounds, but we are not, nothing's overflowing in the bowls or anything. There's a squirt in the rear, squirt in the front. They look pretty strong. Nothing coming out underneath, so that's good. I guess we can start it up. sounds bad about that, really. Needs to warm up. Been stone cold and hadn't started in a few months. Fans work well. Says we're idling about 1,000 and we got good oil pressure, so I think I will. I can turn that off. Go get my timing light. I just wanted to pull the cap. It all looks normal in here. That is the stock advance curve that this fire core comes with, and we're going to change that because is way too much. Like, that's probably 20 degrees or something. And the car has a little cam in it of some kind. It doesn't need all that. So we'll change it for the better. But first we're gonna run it. Maybe find what our initial can be or what it is. I can get it fired up. I mean, overall, I think the owner's pretty proficient in his, knowing his car, you know what I mean? So it's not a new car to a new person and they don't know what's going on. That's why it's kind of a unique situation. I don't really trust our balancer markings. I can't really, got my trigger hooked up here, let's look. Okay, so there's a yellow, hopefully you can see that. There's a yellow way down there. There's a yellow here, there's an orange here, and then there's the actual straight line, the factory one. Right there. So our factory one just is almost about to cross the zero. Sure don't like all the marks. One mark is enough marks for me. I think this thing has hydraulic flat tappet camshaft, so it probably doesn't need the rockers. You know, every 90 degrees set like that. Pulled number one, and it looks like we got some Bosch Platinums in here. That's not my plug of choice. I like the NGKs. This one's pretty black and sooted up, but I'm gonna go ahead and replace them pretty soon, not right now. So I'll at least be able to see a tuning strap. This strap's so old and black, I have no idea what's going on with that. But while I got it out, oh, I also found this nice Plymouth fender covers. He did remind me of that. I got my button. I'm just gonna see where our timing mark hits at here. Right on the money. Let me show you. That line is on the zero. I feel pretty good about that. I mean, we could do a piston stop if we want to, but I think right now that's pretty close to where it should be. I think he might have Uncle Tony's alternator belt on there. See how loose it is. We're going to give that a little bit of tightening so it doesn't fly off and hit me in the head. But my light is flashing here. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah. I realize it's dancing, but good grief. Let me put my camera down so I can try to rev this a little bit. That's probably way too much timing. That's what I'm going to go with. Also, let me shut this thing off. Also, It's very hard to see a timing light on a camera like this. The mark is dancing, 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 dancing. So usually that could mean a few things. Poor fitment of the distributor into the intermediate shaft. It could mean the intermediate shaft is worn out and it's so sloppy on the cam gear, but most likely not that, because the oil pump is driven off that shaft. The timing chain could be so loose that you could jump rope with it. And there's only one way to check that I know of. Well, maybe not. Let's study just a second. Here's my old blue truck. If only I had a 440 block for my white Dodge Challenger that needed to be built. Oh, here it is. So one sneaky way we could get in there. He's got an electric fuel pump. If we could pull his cover off, I may be able to reach in and touch that chain and see if it's extremely loose. He's not opposed to having a new chain by any means, but that would be the only way I can think of without pulling the entire front off the engine. But besides doing that, 2 tuning tools that everybody needs. I loosen the distributor. I will give the carburetor a little turn after we start the car back up and take timing back out of this dude. Get the initial on down there some, and just see how it runs. I think he was implying that maybe it wouldn't run. I can't remember. We're gonna see if it'll run with 20 degrees of initial. Let's just jump down to 20, see if it's happy and if I can keep it idling and everything going on there. I take timing out. I got it to about 30. I got to idle up to keep running. I keep going down 25. I got to idle up to keep running. All it's doing is just advancing inside the distributor more. So I think what I want to do, since this is fire core and you can do it in 2 minutes, lock the distributor out with the screws inside the adjustment, start the car, set the timing at 30, see if it'll start running idle there. Here's why I like fire core distributors. There's a screw right there, and there's a screw 180 degrees opposite of that. You loosen your screws, you see this amount of advance we got going on right here. Okay, we're gonna loosen those screws. Hard to do with one hand. There you go. I've got the other side loosened. I could just barely get to it through that angle there with the cap out of the way and me not holding the camera. And then I'm just gonna slide my slot, if it will, and tighten. Let's see if that got us. Slide that out of the way. Still advancing there. Why did it go that way? Let's see if that does this. Well, there's a lot of slop right there happening. Let me be sure it's not my other screw. I'm gonna bring my other screw around. Right there. Yeah. Going upward like that. Now we're locked. But I can't say that I enjoy that amount of slop right there. That could cause some dancing on our balancer. Let me check my other screw again. Oh, there's a little. Okay, I can see it right there. I'm definitely locked right now. That is excessive. I'm gonna pull the distributor and see if the issue is in this distributor or is it in the intermediate shaft where it meets the distributor at right now. You'll see now, I went and got my most favorite extra MSD distributor for an RB. And I put them end to end with this fire core. And the fire core was actually just barely like 10 thousandths longer. So it's not an engagement issue. Let me show you here. I got that one dropped in. See how the base is staying still? All that slack right now is happening either where that meets the gear or where the teeth of the gear meet the cam. Let me get her popped out. I want to mark it. Usually whenever we try to pull one out and stick it back in, you always find the wrong tooth or the wrong hole or the wrong whatever, or you replace it with a different one and somehow the shaft was different orientation than whatever. So we may have to retime it anyway. It's not a big deal. If we do, I'll show you in the video. And we know you got to have a little bit of backlash or whatever you'd like to call it. That one's got plenty. I realize my screwdriver's a little small, but you get the picture, don't you? I did a video about this a while back. You gotta have some, but that might be too much. I got a little red mark, if you look at the correct angle there and there, and it, like if you're over here looking down, it lines up. So now I'm taking it out. I just got it setting on my MSD right here. And my other camera died, so I have to do this one. This is even all the way down. That's pretty crazy. You can see daylight, like, through there. See the daylight? And they can't, you know, can't blame fire core. It's not a fire core deal. This looks like some kind of new fancy intermediate shaft he's got going on here. And someone's ground on the end of it, maybe to make it go in or something. But I don't like it, step one. I think I'm gonna make this part one of our little Road Runner bracket action video and about the timing problem. So hopefully I'll come back for part number 2. I am just Mopar Joe, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. All right, Mopar people.